Hello and welcome to Fully Charged. Now we do get to go to some amazing places to see incredible new cars, bikes, inventions, renewable energy stuff. Generally we're in kind of big industrial estates or disused airfields or on the city street and it's really busy. Today we've come somewhere slightly more salubrious. And what we're seeing here is very exciting, I think. This is a startup company in the Netherlands. They're called Lightyear and they're just about to start testing the very first time it will ever be driving under its own power, the Lightyear car. It is absolutely extraordinary. It's a luxury saloon car. It is partially solar powered, as you can see. The roof and the bonnet, everything is covered in amazingly efficient solar panels in it. What they've gone for is energy efficiency. This is a hyper efficient luxury saloon car, the first model that they're making. They are an extraordinary company, people from all over the world working here, people who've worked at JLR, at Porsche, Tesla, loads of nationalities, which is a help for us because they all speak English to each other. It's absolutely amazing what they're doing and they're just about to start driving it. Ooh, I'm quite excited. Lex, I want to start with what I understand the legacy of what you've created here. Solar Team Eindhoven that took part in the Darwin to Adelaide solar car race many times and
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Kept winning it.
Yeah, it was the starting point. 6-7 years ago, we basically built the first four-seater solar car.
Right.
And there have been a lot of solar cars, right? But only for one person.
Yes.
And then it's basically looking at the raw physics and seeing what technology is out there to use.
Right.
And we realized that it was possible, so we did that. We participated in the competition in Australia and drove 3,000 kilometers from Darwin to Adelaide. And we actually managed to not only finish, because that's also
that's an important thing, yeah.
But actually win the World Solar Challenge in 2013. And from that, kind of things started rolling. So the challenge is basically a big playground to experiment with technologies and all kinds of parameters.
But I mean, I think it's important to point out that when you won that, you were winning against little-known companies like Honda, you know, who've probably got some funding. So Tessie, this is a very exciting moment because I think they're about to move. But can you sort of tell us what the interest is from the public? Because so some people, they haven't seen this car, but they know what you're doing. They've seen the mock-up version of it.
Yeah, and we get quite some interest. But indeed, it's easier if you have something to show.
Yeah.
But taking into account that we weren't able to show that much, I think we've gained a lot of interest.
Right.
Also a lot of questions, because of course people have doubts. Will there be a battery in it? Will it work at night? All this stuff. So we have a lot of explaining to do. But yeah, considering all this, I am quite surprised and very happy to see that we have over 100 pre-reservations already.
Right. Which for a completely new car with a lot of new technology in it it's a big risk for people in a sense, for the customers, because they don't know. No one knows. You know?
No one knows, yeah. So they even make a pretty big down payment as well.
Right.
So you see the trust, and people, it's really high. Probably also has to do with the World Solar Challenge and being World Solar Champions in the field. You get the benefit of doubt. And people really see this as the next step of electric vehicles. So they really want to see this happening. Some people buy the car, but they don't care about the car. They want to support our mission.
Which is great.
At this point, yes.
So can you give us the sort of rudimentary background to this? It's quite big.
Yeah, so the DNA of the company is quite different from a lot of other companies. We realize that kind of efficiency is magical, right? Efficiency helps in so many ways, not only to reduce energy consumption, but then also to use smaller batteries. You can get more from a normal power socket in terms of kilometers. So efficiency was kind of our starting point, and then looking how efficient can we actually build a car that is also comfortable and safe. And really being able to start with a blank piece of paper has been super important to do this. So we basically get to about half of the energy consumption of a similar car in the same class.
Wow, wow, really? You've got it down that much. So is the idea then that you don't need as like the equivalent size car at the moment would be a Tesla Model S or something like that, which has a big battery pack. Can you effectively go the same distance they can, but with a smaller battery? I mean, presumably you can.
Yeah, we can definitely. So we have a battery pack that is like 2/3 of what a Tesla Model S averagely has.
Right.
We can drive more than that same Model S. So that will be up to 800 kilometers if you count with the sun.
Right.
And without the sun, actually, so the minimum range you will get is 400. So in winter, with air conditioning and everything, everything switched on, you'll still, and high-speed driving, you'll still get 400 from the battery.
Wow. I love the interior materials.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Yeah. The honeycomb stuff. This stuff
cool.
is great good, isn't it?
I think it's.
And I like the fact that it's sealed off. I think that's really interesting. So that you're only heating the cabin, you're not heating the bags.
Exactly. That's also the reason why we did it. And the second reason why we did that is because this is lower in weight.
Right.
Because you don't need to lock the bench on the sides.
Right.
And you can lock it into the
top. Roof. Yeah.
And therefore you actually save a couple of kilograms, I think.
So have you got a rear view center rear view?
Yeah, true. We've got a rear view here,
right?
And we're now working on testing whether
you can put
people
something
will
up there.
want a rear camera here. I think that's something we can definitely consider.
Yeah. So tell me about how it ended up looking like that, because it could just been a box on wheels. You know? You've done some clever stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so when we started like 2.5 years ago, we were just from the Solar Team, right? Well, we got a lot of reactions. So we brought the car over the world, to China, to Australia, to Europe, America as well. But people like the concept, but the design is not as like a car should be. So a car should really give confidence the first time you look at it. So that was very important for us. We knew we had the technology, but we needed to combine it with to make a car out of it. So what we did was partner with a design firm in Torino, headed by Louis Vermeers. So he's known for all the work that he has been doing, of course. And together with Lex, I sat down to really shape the concept and to think of how should a solar car actually look like. And what we found was that it's a very aerodynamic concept, of course, but it's also a concept that breathes freedom. So the freedom aspect should be really in there. I think that combination makes it a very nice balance.
Yeah.
It's a very nice contrast inside.
So you're going for in-wheel motors rather than central. And the thing that I've heard, and this will show my level of engineering understanding, is the anxiety I've spoken to automotive engineers about unsprung weight in the wheels. That if those are very heavy, and is that I'm assuming that's something you've taken into account. And
so you have to look at it very carefully. And when you design the car to be using in-wheel motors, then you can integrate the suspension very well with the motor and the rim to reduce weight. And at the same time, if you look at the tire size, those kind of things also very much influence the unsprung weight. And now we're at the point that actually it's just marginally more heavy than what you would get on a normal car.
And as well, the people that made the reservation, they feel like they're telling our story to all their friends, but they're sort of missing something, which is the evidence. And right now, we are delivering the evidence that we can really build this car, and I think it's a beautifully designed car. So that's one of the promises we did, we made, and now it's time to show it's real.
low rumble we're hearing now, that is the motors. That's not an yeah. I tell you, the thing that I did speak to an engineer about was how annoying electric cars are for bodybuilders and the people who deal with the sound in combustion cars, because you can't hear any creaks in a combustion car because you're hearing the engine. And he said as soon as you drive an electric car, you hear every tiny little
that's true.
Squeak and creak.
I think 1.5 years ago we started with us telling how a solar car works because they don't know.
Wow. So this has all happened in a year and a half.
Yeah, and only a year ago we had like the first phone model.
Right.
So a year ago we only knew how the car sort of like
might look.
Yeah.
Wow.
And from then, and like this final result, the final prototype is only 4 months. So imagine the speed we're able to get at.
Yeah.
And the nice thing to add to that as well is that the mock-up was quite in line with the prototype you see here.
Yeah.
So it means that we really know what we're doing, right? Because it doesn't change that much over time. So probably the first verification models also will stay more or less the same because it works out. It's really well thought.
There's so many things. As soon as I think about what you have to test, you know, when you start doing longer drives in it and the testing you've got to do. There's a lot of, I mean, there's so many components in a car, isn't there? That's the thing.
Definitely.
They're complicated machines.
Yeah, but also all the silly things, right? So the lights here and
halfway through the next right-hander.
The speaker system, the windows, the screens here.
I know we made a decision in January to sort of change the planning a bit in order to be able to show the car before the summer holidays instead of after that. So that put a lot of pressure on the team, and it's amazing what they've accomplished. Also, considering all the suppliers that were very flexible, that helped us out, it's really it's amazing what they did in only half a year. So like 1.5 months ago, we had nothing physical yet, not too much at least, and now
there's a car.
There's a car.
Yeah. Definitely a car.
I need to film that. Go, go!
Wow. So I mean, this isn't the first time you've been in it, is it, Lex, or is it? No,
well, actually, it is. It is the first time for me and you as well. Yeah.
No, it's so exciting. I mean, I've never been more excited to go in a car really slowly. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's super cool. It's it has been like 2 years of everything coming together, right? And it's looking at millimeters everywhere and seeing much of this on the screens. And now to really enjoying this in real life is really amazing. And but of course, I think this is just the first step, right?
Yeah.
Next steps are going to build. We're going to winter test, summer test. We're going to build a lot more prototypes.
Well, but presumably at some point you do have to do a crash test, do you? I mean, you've got to basically kill a car, which is just heartbreaking.
We love to do that because it's for science, right?
Yeah.
So from these crash tests, we will get a lot of information to improve the chassis, improve the, but also calibrate the airbags. And I think the most fascinating thing for me is that you kind of get that with some proper engineering you can get the same kind of comfort and but a completely different shape around the car, and therefore really improving the aerodynamics and the energy consumption. That you kind of have the same feeling sitting in this car, but still having about half the energy consumption of a similar car.
Right.
Yeah. So what we did in the interior is moving a lot of the components you would normally have close to the occupant space. We moved it to the front.
Right.
And therefore you have a lot of room in the interior itself. So here underneath you can put a cabin-sized bag if you want. It's quite large.
No, you've got so much space. The back is, you know, it's sort of like an ultra luxury car. You know, the space in the back. It's brilliant. And so that is the long-term idea then. I mean, this is the sort of the initial model. It's high-end, it's luxurious, it's quite expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
But the plan is that you would then go smaller, lighter, cheaper.
Of course.
That's the desire of the company.
Yeah. So we're really developing this technology, and this is the first step to bring it to market.
Yeah.
And then also the price becomes a bit higher. But the moment you have this technology and you can really optimize it and bring it also up to scale, yeah, you can drop down in price. And that's really the dream we're having.
Right.
Because a solar car will work best where no infrastructure exists.
Yeah. The cheapest form of energy will come from the places that are nearest to where you use it.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to pay for the infrastructure that's in between. So if you have solar cells on your roof, reuse it for your car, of course, because you use it for your house. Then if you have solar cells on top of your car itself, then it's probably the cheapest source of energy you can get.
Yes, there can't be a cheaper way of charging a car, can there? It's just
so although it might not cover your full energy consumption, it's still the cheapest, most convenient way to get energy into your car.
It's fascinating listening to the various sounds, but I mean, they're really minor. I just want to, just in case the mic isn't picking this up, but there are some tiny little creaks you can hear. But the reason you can hear them is because the car is so smooth and quiet that you get to hear all sorts of other weird things, don't you?
Yeah, it's cool, and it's also like the coming 2 years will.
Yeah, that's what you'll be able to iron all that out.
And tweaks out, and I think it's. But I'm amazed actually by the fact that it's really quite good.
So this is on. I like the fact this is on 10% of its potential power. The motors.
Yeah, there's a lot of torque in all the motors, and of course also the big advantage is that you can power them independently, and therefore have a lot of grip, and being able to control that in milliseconds. So it will actually do quite good hills and good off-roading. Of course, we're still gentle now. We're at 10%, right? Yeah. But there's a lot of potential in the motors and in the powertrain.
Is there a sort of kilowatt capacity of the solar panels if they're in direct sun? I mean, what's their peak?
Yeah, it's about 1.25 kilowatt peak, and that means that so you will charge between 10 and 12 kilometers per hour.
Right.
So that's quite nice.
It's like that is the same as a 13 amp plug, the same as a domestic plug. Adds about that range. Interesting.
So that's about 50 to 70 kilometers a day, and so that will be added up to that's a sunny day, I should say.
On a sunny day,
and it will add up to about 10,000 kilometers per year in the Netherlands in good conditions.
Right.
And at least 8,000. And then,
but then in California or Australia or something like that,
then it can go up to 20,000 kilometers actually per year, and that's a lot more actually than we thought we will be able to do. But the technology is progressing quite rapidly, right? So the idea is that you can do with the two energy sources you have anywhere on Earth.
Right.
So that's normal power sockets and the sun, basically. And you can drive 400 kilometers per day using just power sockets, because you can, in a night you can charge 400 kilometers.
Wow. Right.
But of course, if there's fast chargers, you can use them.
Oh, so it does have. You could plug.
Of course.
Is it CCS? You could plug that into it.
Yeah. The philosophy is that you should be able to use any energy source at hand to charge the car.
Yeah. But I mean, it's amazing what you've done. I'm really thrilled, and I'm very excited to come and see future developments when when you get to the next level, or when the first customer has their car. Very exciting moment. So the Lightyear car is about to go back to the amazing workshop where they built it. They're clearly really excited about this. This is I think a really interesting breakthrough car. It'll be fascinating to see how fast they can actually start producing them. They've still got a lot of testing to do. They've got to do cold weather testing, hot weather testing, crash testing, all that stuff. It's not finished by a long way, but it's definitely on the path. And I think what this team have done is truly remarkable. And there's clearly, they can't talk about it, there's clearly a lot of interest from a lot of car companies, because it does actually work. What we've done here is see an amazing new, like a revolutionary bit of technology, a genuine solar-powered car. Not 100% solar, doesn't have to be, but even if it's 15, 20, 25, 40% solar, that makes a huge difference if all cars were like that. It's still in its early stages. We're not going to see a production vehicle for probably 18 months, 2 years. It is the beginning of an amazing adventure for that team, amazing team. Really want to thank the whole team at Lightyear. They looked after us very well. I want to thank Schenker Transa, slightly less because they've got big noisy trucks. The reason we're here at this Fastned charger right on the border of Belgium and the Netherlands is because we didn't fly here. And it's incredibly complicated when you don't fly to see an event like that. We were with them for a morning. We didn't need to be. It's taken us 3 days. Day to get here, overnight, film with them, day to get back. So 3 days of travel. We've done it all in an electric car. This car has proved itself ridiculously efficient at doing it. Really, genuinely proper long range. We drove all the way from Maidstone, if you look on a map, from Maidstone to Eindhoven, one charge. Pretty amazing. So it's taken us a bit longer time, and that's the problem. We could have flown to Eindhoven this morning, and we could have flown back tonight, except we got a lot of kit. The car is absolutely full of kit, so it would have been very difficult. How do we film cars all over the world without flying is the question we're asking ourselves. Anyway, that's it. That's what we've done. We've driven here, and we're now about to drive to Bruges. Lovely Bruges in Belgium, and then we catch the train early tomorrow morning. And there's also Patreon. Have a look at the link there. Don't fret about it, but if you want to support Fully Charged, then you'd be incredibly wonderful, and you'd be joining a group of wonderful, generous, lovely people who we really appreciate. And that's all. Subscribe to this channel on YouTube, please, or press the little bell dingy ding-a-ding. And as always, if you have been, thank you for watching.